How's it going, lads, and welcome back to another episode of the Barry FC Road to Glory career mode. If you haven't seen the Instagram story I put out a couple of days ago, then this video is going to confuse you as much as is physically possible, because you're going to be thinking, well, why has everyone played all the games? Well, that's what's going to happen basically from now on, is until we get to a higher level and it's more interesting to show all the games. We're going to be basically showing just some highlights at the end of the season. I say highlights, we're going to be looking at, the stats, where we finished, and basically like the interesting parts. So like only showing the stats of the players, only showing the table at the end, maybe showing like some, maybe some transfer targets that we look into thing. We're going to be looking at the team that we finished with anyway. So you get to like sort of have a picture, because it's coming to the end of FIFA 20 at the moment, and FIFA 21's around the corner soon enough, in like a month or so I think it is. So I'm thinking this is going to take a while if we're going to show every game. So I've decided that we're going to change it up, and we're going to I'm going to play the games behind the scenes, and I'm going to show you basically the stats and other things. If a big game comes up though, there will be a separate episode. So if I show like, so this is episode 6, so it'll be like episode 6, and then I'll do like part 2, which is halfway through the season. We have like maybe a cup final. It'll be part 2, leasing.com trophy final. Or part 2, playoff final, playoff final, something like that. So I want you to stay connected to the series without it becoming boring, because I'm showing you everything. So as you can see in the background, if you're watching, you got all this stuff going on. We're showing all the stats, so you should be able to see the top goal scorer, which was Rashford. We're gonna have a player of the season vote of who you think was player of the season. We're going to have young player of the season and player of the season. So I'm going to put a vote in the top right hand corner, I think it is. So just click who you think should be player of the season and young player of the season. Obviously you haven't seen it, but looking at the stats, looking at things, I want you guys to stay connected to it, so I want you to be part of everything. I don't want to be too, I don't want to show you too much, because it'll make it boring. I don't want to show too little either, because it'll like make you feel distant from it. Obviously I've played all of these games off camera, so I'm really connected, and I really want to see this team do well. But the big reveal, we finished 20th, 1 point out of relegation zone, which is mental. Like, we had a mental season. We were in the relegation zone for I don't even know how long, but we just stuffed it at the end. The deciding game, I think it was a 3-3 draw against Ipswich Town. I think that was the game that really secured us. I think our last game of the season was against MK Dons, which probably you're thinking is more of a important game, but we were expected to pull off a result against them, whereas Ipswich is more of an upset. So obviously Oliver Rushford got a hat-trick, so think about that when you're voting for him. But we're gonna, so just make sure top right corner, cast your vote in, and I'll say in episode 7 who got the most votes for young player of the season and who got the most votes for player of the season. Not fans player of the season. Obviously try and pick 2 different players, because I know our team's pretty young, but try and pick like 2 different players. But the signings, the main part of this juicy episode. We've had a look at the past. The past is behind us. We survived League One. Now is to push on and get into the Championship. So the first signing is one of the best signings I think I've ever had in a career mode save. A free agent, 68 rated, Jordi Fortes Soca. 5'10" centre back from Spain. Great pace, great strength, great defending. And we got him on a free as well. Like that, I always look at free agency, because there's some just amazing regens you can find. Sometimes you get really lucky, like I haven't got, and get a few 60s, or you can be really unlucky and have no one. but I think he's probably he's going to be one of our key players at the back. Our defense is looking really solid now this season. We've also got Joe Rankin Castillo, another really good player brought in. 750 grand from Blackburn Rovers. He had a release clause of like 1.45 million, but so we were really lucky to like almost half that for 750, and his value is 925 now, so I think we've got a real bargain there. We've also gone in for Kazaya Tanganga, young English striker, another free agent. He's only 57 rated though, which is a bit disappointing. When I looked at his stats at the start, I thought he was so much better, so I put a bid in for him straight away. But it turns out he's only 57 rated. We got another backup striker in Liam Cullen, because I think with Gelhardt leaving in January, we need some cover up front. And for only 50k plus treble, I mean, we can't go wrong with him. 62 rated right now. He's got decent pace, decent strength, decent finishing. I mean, like, there's not much you can say about him really. He's just a good backup striker, and I think with him being young as well as Rushford, Truebridge and Kazaya Tanganga, we've got a really good strike force as well as having the backup behind them. Another free agent signing with Hugo Leonardo Dourado Santos, a young Brazilian centre attacker midfielder. He's not got 5-star skills, unfortunately. I did check that. It was the first thing I checked as soon as I saw he's Brazilian and a centre attacker midfielder. But again, another free agent who you just gotta look in free agency after every season, just to see who you can find. We've got an absolute gem there, and this man is probably one of my favourite players we signed. He's just really well-rounded. So our midfield now, we got Jonathan Williams from Rochdale on a pre-contract at the end of the last season. He's going to be our ball-winning midfielder. Kyle Taylor's going to be our, box-to-box, playmaking midfielder. And then Dourado Santos, just in front of them, is going to be our playmaker. Taylor's going to be our deep-line playmaker, and Dourado Santos is going to be more of our advanced playmaker, just sticking in behind Rushford and Truebridge. So as you can see, that's the team. That's the team we're going to be rocking for most of the season. Obviously, if we have injuries, people will come in. Merton did well when he played. He got injured for 7 months, and I didn't really get to see him. And obviously, Taylor, Williams, and Dourado Santos had just too much quality for him to sneak in. I was really disappointed to have to replace Ushler, though, because he was also very strong last season. And Gelhardt and Cullen obviously just sitting on the bench. Good players to bring on in the late of the game. I'm really liking this midfield. This is I just can't wait. Like the goalkeeper, Whiteman good, Wood good, McKenzie good, Fortes Socas good, Taylor, Williams, Dourado Santos good, Paulson, Rankins, Costello good, Rushford and Truebridge good, Cullen off the bench great. Gelhardt's going at January, so Tanganga will step onto the bench for him. Merton, Ushler, great players, like them. Tillmanson, haven't seen much of him last season, but he did the job when he came on. Mercer's Mercer. Him and Drubble just switched around last season, and McDriscoll is McDriscoll. Haven't really seen much of him. He's our backup goalkeeper, but I would put us as, playoff favourites, if not promotion favourites, with the team we have. But I don't know, anything could happen really, couldn't it? But that's going to do it for this episode. So tomorrow's episode we'll be looking at what happened in next season. And if something big happens, there'll be a part 2 to this episode with a big game. But I'll see you next time. Peace.